Hello and welcome to Atomic Facepalm. This is Chris, and today I'm playing full at something a little bit different. We're reviewing the SNES Classic. Thanks everybody for tuning into the channel. If you're new, you can always hit subscribe, we'd love that. And you can leave a comment below, or you can follow us on Twitter. The Super Nintendo Classic, it is indeed a classic. Let's go over what this thing is all about. The Super Nintendo Classic was released back in September of 2017. Even with that, they are notoriously hard to come by. They have an MSRP of $80, but, well, good luck finding one in any normal store. The price on the secondary market usually hovers around $90 to $120, and that's usually from places such as eBay and Amazon. There are two different visual motifs, depending on the region, Europe and USA. The European version looks more like a tiny little PC, and its controllers have green, yellow, red, and blue buttons, just like the ones in Europe did. And the USA version looks just like you would expect. It's just a very small replica of the original US Super Nintendo. It is one very tiny and very adorable little SNES console. Look at it. Isn't it cute? Just want to hold it, cuddle it. It literally fits in the palm of your hand. There are two SNES controllers with Wii U type adapters that plug into the front of the Super Nintendo Classic. You just have to pull down a little door and you plug them right in. That door can be hard to see at first if you don't know what you're looking for. There's a USB cable and an AC adapter, and there's also a single HDMI cable. There's also a retro SNES poster, and there are in fact instructions in the back of this, which I didn't notice until I struggled through my installation. Pro tip, look at the instructions first. Except the poster after. There are 21 total games. These are loaded up onto a retro interface, and you can check out the exact game list in the video description below because that's a lot of games to read off in a row, but they're all down there. There is one caveat. You have to play through and beat the first level in Star Fox to unlock Star Fox 2. So Star Fox 2 was previously unreleased, so this is the first chance you'll get to play it. Though you do have to beat Star Fox's first level, which really kind of isn't all that easy. So now that we have the overview, we're going to go over, I keep saying over twice in a row. Now that we're done with the overview, we're going to go into what's good about it. It perfectly mirrors the SNES design. Whether it's European or American, they're both exact replicas. And it's so small and light that you can put it, well, basically anywhere. Maybe not on the ceiling. The power button and the reset button both push up, just like the original machine. And having two controllers in the box is awesome. I'm really glad it didn't skimp out and just, include one. The controllers are exact recreations too. These are not imitations. They're not flimsy. They're not cheap. They're the same weight. They're right down to the feel of their texture, directional pad, and buttons. I mean, they even smell like the old SNES controllers, which, in my opinion, makes them perfect. With those 21 games, and in my opinion, some of the best games ever made on any system, I would say even the ones that are less than fantastic, and there are a few, they're still pretty fun. The standouts for me are Super Metroid, Final Fantasy III, Secret of Mana, Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and Super Mario Kart. You can rewind, fast forward, and save your progress in 4 distinct save slots in any game by just resetting the console, and then manipulating the pre-game interface to save the slots. There are also numerous display preferences, which is really nice. There's a 4x3 letterbox version, and even a scanlines version. This is really pretty magical if you want to recreate an authentic retro feel and avoid that really heavy pixelated image that you might find on the modern TV. Although, if you like non-filtered pixelated images, that is an option too. The price feels appropriate. Even if you have to drop $100 to get one on a third-party site, it's a pretty good investment. And since it's basically just an SSD with a couple of tiny circuit boards surrounded by a bit of plastic, it should survive drops to the ground and minor abuse. And we verified this more than once by accident, on purpose. Right, yeah, on purpose for the testing. So it's obviously got a lot of good features. That's not to say it's perfect, though. We're going to go into what's not so good now, maybe some of the bad stuff. It is almost impossible to find through traditional retail outlets. Since Nintendo hates money, they didn't make nearly enough of them, and that's why you're going to find them mostly on those third-party sites. The console is remarkably light, and while that might seem like a pretty good thing at first, it does have a lot of trouble staying in one place. We actually recommend buying Velcro tabs and sticking them on the bottom to fix that. The controller cables, boy, are they short by today's standards. Like really, really short. You want to buy cable extensions from Amazon. They're only about $10 for two, and we actually have a link in the video description, so check that out. You, your kids, your pets, maybe some combination of all those things, will trip over the controller cables. Guaranteed. Although that does also kind of accurately recreate the retro feel of the 90s, so maybe that's a good thing? It's not. Similarly, storing the controllers and the cables is a pain in the ass. If you wrap the cables around the controllers, it can kink the cords, and it can create aggravating cable loops, which get caught on everything. Again, though, this is just like the old days, so it is retro. Officially, in quotation marks, you're stuck with the 21 embedded games. You can't purchase more, and Nintendo has no plans to make that a feature. Unofficially, you can jailbreak the device, and then you can add as many games as you want. But that's risky. It's also a huge terms of use violation, and you can even brick your unit by doing that. So it has Kirby's Dream Course and Super Punch-Out, but no Chrono Trigger, no ActRaiser. For shame, Nintendo! Some of the game choices are a bit, well, odd. You will want to smash your console with a hammer if you play Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Even with save states, that game is ridiculous. And since it's so small, you can't plug in your old SNES games if you happen to have any. You also can't plug in your old Super Nintendo controllers either. Additionally, there are no analog ports for retro TVs. It's HDMI only. That's an auto mission. Playing SNES games on a CRT is by far the best experience. And now the verdict, the moment we've all been waiting for. Do I recommend it? Hell yes, I do. Even with a limited arsenal of 21 games, it's still a lot to play, and all the games are pretty good, if not just okay. Yeah, it's tough to come by in the retail sector, if not a rare occurrence, but even with that, spending the money that you're going to spend on eBay or on Amazon, $100 or so, well worth it. Using the original Super Nintendo controllers is a feeling that just can't be beat. It feels amazing. They connect easily to the Super Nintendo Classic. It's all good stuff. Even the games hold up in this era where we have a lot of pixel art games and games that were inspired by, well, the classics. So you can go back and replay them, and they're great. And there it is, the review for the Super Nintendo Classic. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment. And if you have a Super Nintendo Classic, tell us what you think of the product. So, once again, from Chris, from Atomic Facepalm, good luck and have fun.